Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're cracking open something really interesting. Adore Google. Well, accidentally left ajar. For years, almost decades really, the Google ranking system felt like this impenetrable black box, right?
Yeah.
Super secret, totally proprietary.
Absolutely. A mystery everyone was trying to solve from the outside.
But then in 2024, this huge internal leak happened. API documentation for their content warehouse surfaced, giving us this unprecedented look inside, like a real blueprint.
Yeah, a once-in-a-generation peak, honestly. And it wasn't just, a few ranking factors. It showed the architecture.
And what it showed blew up a pretty big myth, didn't it? This idea
Yeah.
of the Google algorithm. One single thing.
Total myth. It's clear now. It's not one giant formula. It's a whole collection of specialized systems, AIs, scoring engines, all working together, interconnected.
Exactly. So our mission in this deep dive is to zero in on one specific system revealed in that leak, maybe one of the most crucial and one we really didn't know about before. Goldmine.
Goldmine sounds important.
It seems to be Google's universal quality judge for basically everything you see on a search results page. Titles, snippets, you name it.
Right. So we need to define it, get into the philosophy behind it, which is actually pretty surprising, and then figure out how its internal process changes, well, everything for how you should build a quality website.
Okay, let's dig in. And I think we have to start with that philosophy you mentioned, because it really changes the dynamic between Google and, well, anyone publishing content.
It really does. The core idea behind Goldmine, its internal technical name, is alternative title annotator, by the way, is fascinating. It's built on distrust.
Distrust.
Yeah. The fundamental assumption is that the input from the publisher, like the title tag you carefully crafted, it's considered inherently untrustworthy.
Wow. Okay. So that title I spent hours on, Google basically looks at it and says, maybe?
Pretty much. It's treated as just one candidate in a competition. Your title has to earn its place against alternatives Google finds or generates itself.
So Goldmine's job is to take all these potential text options for a SRP element, a title, a description, maybe alt text, and score them. Give them a number.
Exactly. Compute a quantitative quality score.
Yeah.
And we know it's a universal pattern because the leaked attributes, things like Goldmine body factor or Goldmine trust factor, show it's modular. It can be applied to score almost any text element.
Okay, so Goldmine is the scorer, but it's not working in a vacuum. It's part of this bigger, complex architecture. Who else is involved? Who's it talking to?
Oh, it's a whole ecosystem. It interacts directly with language processing systems, things like Muppet and Snippet Brain. They're the ones actually rewriting or choosing the snippets the descriptions users see.
Okay.
Then you've got specialized content assessors, like Radish, which seems connected to featured snippets. It calculates an answer score for bits of text it pulls from your page.
Right, and the leak also mentioned dedicated product review systems, looking for specific signals, like product review page, which sounds like ultra high quality page, maybe?
Yeah, suggests specific quality checks for view content, and of course the technical side systems using things like indexing mobile Volt Core Web Vitals. So
Yeah.
Core Web Vitals data is definitely being factored in at the indexing level.
And you mentioned a crucial link earlier, NavBoost.
Ah, yes. NavBoost, that's the giant system focused on user behavior, click data, satisfaction. Goldmine is deeply intertwined with NavBoost. Ultimately, NavBoost data validates Goldmine's choices. It's like Goldmine proposes, NavBoost disposes based on real users. We'll definitely circle back to that.
It sounds incredibly complex, a lot of moving parts. So let's get practical. How does Goldmine actually run this competition? What's the process?
Right. It seems to be a pretty rigorous multi-stage evaluation. The goal is basically to filter out noise and predict which text candidate will lead to what Google calls good clicks and actually satisfy the user.
Okay, stage one must be gathering the contenders, right? Since it distrusts the publisher's main input, where does it look for these alternatives?
Everywhere, basically. It starts with your HTML title tag, of course, that's source title tag, but then it pulls from headings on the page, source heading tag. And significantly, there's an attribute called Goldmine headers H1.
So the H1 heading gets special attention.
It explicitly confirms it. Your main H1 is weighted differently, likely seen as a strong candidate for what the page is truly about.
That's a huge takeaway right there. Your title and your H1 need to be aligned because they're literally competing.
They absolutely are, and it doesn't stop there. Goldmine also looks at anchor text from internal links, source on-site anchor, and even external links, source off-domain anchor.
So the text people use to link to your page, both on your own site and from other sites, matters as well.
Yeah, it's treated as evidence. What do other pages, internal and external, say this page is about? It all goes into the mix.
Okay, but what if? What if all those sources are just bad? Like the title is spammy, the H1 is vague, the anchor text is generic. Does Goldmine just give up? Nope. There's a fallback. If all the candidate sources are deemed low quality, the system can generate its own title. That's the source-generated title. It's Google's attempt to create something usable when the provided signals are poor.
Right, those sometimes slightly odd auto-generated titles we see.
Right.
Okay, so it gathers this pool of candidates. What's stage 2?
Stage 2 is like the AI editor phase. This is where semantics come in. Promising candidates get passed over to BlockBERT.
BlockBERT. Is that related to the main BERT language model?
Yeah, it seems to be a specialized, more efficient version. Its job isn't just keyword matching. It assesses context, semantic coherence. Basically asking, does this text accurately reflect the topic? Is it well written?
So the output, that Goldmine BlockBERT factor, is a score based on language quality and relevance, not just keywords.
Exactly. It's a deeper understanding. But crucially, the AI's assessment isn't the final word.
Why not? If the AI thinks it's good quality, why need a third stage? Because AI prediction is still just that, of prediction. Stage 3, the final arbiter, shows that no matter how good the AI gets, the ultimate proof is how real humans behave. They need user validation.
Okay, and this is where it connects back to NavBoost, the big user behavior engine.
Precisely. This is maybe the most critical link revealed. Stage 3 ties Goldmine directly to NavBoost, and we know this because of the attribute Goldmine NavBoost factor.
Got it. So that factor means real clicks, real user actions, are directly influencing which title or snippet wins Goldmine's competition.
Absolutely. NavBoost crunches apparently up to 13 months of click data to figure out user satisfaction. And Goldmine seems to be directly influenced by key signals from NavBoost.
What kind of signals?
Well, there are good clicks where the user stays on the page for a decent amount of time. Then there are bad clicks, the classic pogo sticking, right? Click, immediately bounce back to search results.
Okay, makes sense.
But the really powerful one seems to be last longest click.
Last longest clicks. What does that signify?
That's the golden signal. It means the user clicked your result, stayed there for a significant time, and didn't come back to the search results for that query. It indicates the search journey ended successfully on your page. You satisfied the intent.
Wow. So Goldmine is actively trying to predict which candidate title, H1, whatever, is most likely to generate that last longest click signal.
That seems to be the core objective. It's not just about getting a click. It's about resolving the user's need completely.
That really reframes things. Okay, so Goldmine scores candidates, uses AI, and ultimately relies on user behavior via NavBoost. But what about when things go wrong? Does it penalize bad elements?
Oh, absolutely. It's not just a scorer. It's also an enforcer. It actively identifies and flags poor quality, and there are direct consequences.
Like what? What are the direct penalties?
Well, there's a high-level flag, just bad title. That seems to apply if the title is missing entirely or just meaningless garbage.
Okay, basic stuff.
But then there are more granular, specific penalty flags that are really revealing. Things like Goldmine has boilerplate in title.
Boilerplate. Like using the same phrase in every single page title.
Exactly. If you're just repeating standard text across tons of titles, that gets flagged. There's also dup token.
Duplicate tokens. Sounds like P-word stuffing.
That's exactly what it looks like, repeating the same words over and over in the title. And another one is truncated.
So if your title is too long and gets cut off in the SRP, that's a penalty too.
Seems so. If it has to be shortened visually, it gets dinged internally. So when Goldmine applies one of these flags, boilerplate, dup tokens, truncated, that candidate basically loses the competition immediately.
And the consequence is visual first, right? Your intended title doesn't show up.
Right. The system swaps it out for a better alternative it found, often that well-lined H1 heading or maybe something else it sourced or generated.
Okay, so that's the visible change. But you mentioned earlier this goes deeper, this feedback loop, the indirect impact on core ranking. This feels like the bombshell.
It really is. Because when Goldmine forces that substitution, when it says, your title is bad, we're showing the H1 instead, it's essentially launching a live A/B test.
An A/B test with real users.
Yeah. millions of them. Google is effectively saying, okay, publisher, your title was flagged as low quality. We think this alternative is better. Let's see how users react to our choice.
And how users react to that substituted element that feeds back.
Directly back into NavBoost through that Goldmine NavBoost factor.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I understand this. If my original title gets flagged as, say, boilerplate,
Yeah.
Goldmine forces a replacement, maybe my H1. If users don't like that H1 when it's shown as the title in the SRP, maybe they click it and bounce right back.
Pogo sticking, yeah.
That poor performance, driven by the element Google chose, can negatively impact my page's actual core ranking authority in NavBoost, even though I didn't pick that element to display.
That is precisely what the architecture strongly suggests. Goldmine isn't just cleaning up the SRP visually, it's acting as a data quality filter, a kind of hygiene mechanism for NavBoost.
Wow. If you consistently feed Goldmine low-quality inputs, bad titles, vague H1s, spammy internal anchors, it forces substitutions. If those substitutions then perform poorly with users, NavBoost gets a clear, persistent signal. This underlying page isn't satisfying users, and that seems very likely to erode the page's authority score over time.
This completely changes the game. Trying to optimize one little tag in isolation is just pointless if this whole interconnected system is judging everything and running live tests.
Absolutely impossible to game long-term.
So we've deconstructed Goldmine. What does this mean strategically? If you're trying to rank well, what are the key takeaways? What do you do now?
Okay, I think there are three core strategic pillars that emerge from this. First, you absolutely must engineer signal coherence.
Signal coherence.
Meaning,
since Goldmine pulls candidates from the title, the H1, internal links, the URL, maybe even body text, you have to eliminate any ambiguity. All these elements need to send a clear, consistent, harmonized message about what the page's core topic and purpose is.
So my HTML title, my main H1, the URL slug, the first paragraph, the anchor text linking to this page. They all need to be singing from the same hymn sheet, basically.
Exactly. No contradictions, no mixed signals. And we even have a hint that presentation matters within this. The avg term weight attribute suggests visual prominence is measured.
How so?
It implies that how terms are weighted, possibly by font size or position, is factored in. So, having your main topic clearly stated in a large H1 right at the top, that visual emphasis likely boosts its candidacy score in Goldmine. It's a signal of importance.
Okay, signal coherence is strategy 1. Make everything consistent and clear. What's 2?
Strategy 2 flows directly from NavBoost being the ultimate judge. You have to optimize for the satisfied click, not just any click.
Right, forget clickbait.
Completely. That might get you a bad click or maybe a short good click, but it won't get you the ultimate prize. Last longest clicks. Your snippet, whether it's your title, your meta description, or something Google chooses, needs to make an accurate promise.
And the page has to deliver on it instantly.
Immediately and comprehensively. The goal is to fully answer the user's query, resolve their intent so they don't need to go back to Google. Winning that last longest click signal is probably the most powerful positive feedback you can send back through Goldmine to NavBoost.
Makes perfect sense. Satisfy the user completely. Okay, strategy 3.
Strategy 3 is foundational. Master technical precision. This is like the price of admission.
Meaning?
Those direct penalties Goldmine applies has boilerplate entitled DUP tokens, is truncated. They're based on clear technical rules. If your elements violate these rules, they get demoted or disqualified before they even get a fair semantic review by BlockBERT or a real test via NavBoost.
So cleaning up boilerplate text, avoiding keyword repetition in titles, making sure things aren't too long, that's not even optimization, it's just avoiding penalty.
It's table stakes. It's the prerequisite for your actually good content to even be considered fairly in this internal competition. You have to get the technical basics right, or you're shooting yourself in the foot before the race even starts.
So signal coherence, optimized for the satisfied click, and master technical precision. When you step back and look at Goldmine, NavBoost, BlockBERT, all these systems, it paints a picture of SEO that's, well, incredibly complex under the hood.
It is complex, but the interesting thing is that complexity actually simplifies the high-level strategy, doesn't it?
How do you mean?
Because trying to find little loopholes or trick specific parts of the system is clearly a losing game. The only viable path forward, the only sustainable strategy, is to stop trying to manipulate perceived quality.
And instead,
Instead, focus entirely on creating genuine, unambiguous signals of high quality. That means clear communication. It means understanding and satisfying the user's actual needs, showing empathy, really. It means building content and site structures that inherently resolve user intent effectively.
so the secret isn't some technical trick, it's actually being useful and clear.
In a world judged by systems like Goldmine and NavBoost, that seems to be the only game left to play. Focus on the human, focus on clarity, and let the systems reward that.